Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something prompted by a really, well, kind of wild listener story.
Oh, yeah. What's this one?
It's about a German grandfather supposedly taking 20,000 international units of vitamin D every single day.
Wow. Okay, 20,000 IU? That's a lot.
Right. It's so far beyond what you normally hear. So the question is, is this some kind of hidden health secret or just incredibly risky? We need to dig into the sources on this.
Absolutely. And this is, I think, a perfect chance for some critical thinking. We hear these anecdotes, but we've got to square them with the actual medical facts, especially around supplement safety. There's this persistent myth, isn't there, that if a little is good...
It must be better, exactly.
Yeah. So let's start with the baseline. What is recommended? In Germany, the guidelines suggest adults aim for about 800 to 1,000 IU daily. That's 20 micrograms.
And mostly from sunshine, right? Not necessarily pills.
Ideally, yes. Sunshine is the main intended source.
Yeah.
So if someone taking 20 times that amount, we definitely need to look at safety.
Okay, let's do that. Let's measure that 20,000 IU dose against, the official safe upper limits. What did the big institutions say? Like NIH, Mayo Clinic.
Right. So they've established what's called the tolerable upper intake level, or UL. For adults, and actually anyone over 9 years old, that consensus UL is 4,000 IU per day.
4,000. Okay, so 20,000 is already 5 times that established safe ceiling. Exactly. But there's even more nuance. We saw a note from the Cleveland Clinic warning that some perfectly healthy adults can actually start showing signs of toxicity at doses as low as 2,000 IU a day. It really depends on the person.
Wow. Okay, so even half the supposed safe upper limit might be risky for some people. That really highlights how extreme 20,000 IU is.
It really does. It shows how, fine that line can be between supplementing and, well, poisoning yourself.
So let's talk about that. What actually happens if you cross that line? Hypervitaminosis D, right? Toxicity.
That's the term, yes. And the sources are crystal clear on this. You basically only get vitamin D toxicity from taking too many supplements.
Never from the sun. Never from the sun. Your body has natural feedback loops, it regulates UV exposure, and stops production. Supplements bypass all of that.
Okay, so what does that toxicity look like? What are the symptoms?
Well, initially the NIH lists things like nausea, vomiting, confusion, muscle weakness, sometimes frequent urination. Pretty unpleasant stuff.
And long-term?
That's where it gets really dangerous. We're talking kidney stones, kidney damage, potentially kidney failure, even heart rhythm problems like arrhythmia. And in severe cases, it can be fatal.
Fatal? That's serious.
It is. And reports of this kind of toxicity have actually gone up quite a bit since around 2010. Experts also note the risk of actual tissue damage really starts to climb once you go over 10,000 IU daily.
The case studies you found really drive this home, don't they?
They do. They make it very real. There was that case of the 23-year-old active serviceman, healthy young guy.
Yeah. What happened?
He ended up with acute kidney failure. He'd been taking 10,000 IU daily for about 6 months.
10,000, so half the dose in the listener's story. And still kidney failure in a young, healthy person.
Exactly. Just by consistently exceeding that 4,000 IU limit. It shows it's not just about massive, massive doses. Even 10,000 is clearly dangerous territory.
And there was another one, a man taking less.
Yeah, another man took what amounted to maybe 2 or 3 times the recommended dose, not even the upper limit. So maybe 2,000, 3,000 IU.
Okay.
He ended up nearly unconscious, and his kidney function plummeted. His filtering rate went from like a healthy 80-something down into the low 20s. That's a huge drop heading towards needing dialysis.
Just from a few thousand IU, it really shows these aren't just harmless vitamins when you megadose.
They're powerful compounds, and high doses, yeah, they can act like poisons. We even saw the tragic case of an 89-year-old British man.
Oh, no.
His death was linked directly to vitamin D overdose. It caused hypercalcemia, too much calcium in the blood, leading to heart and kidney failure.
So the takeaway here seems pretty clear then. When does a supplement turn into a poison?
Basically, when you consistently blow past those established safety guidelines, that 4,000 IU upper limit, it's there for a reason. Anything over that, especially dramatically over like 10,000 or 20,000 IU, puts you squarely in the danger zone.
Right. So for the listener who shared the story and anyone hearing it, that 20,000 IU dose is definitely not advisable.
Not at all. It's extremely risky based on everything we're seeing.
Okay, so to wrap up, maybe leave people with something to chew on?
Yeah, there's one more interesting finding, maybe a bit provocative. We found a study looking at people who were not vitamin D deficient. They didn't need supplements.
Okay.
And those who took even a small standard dose, just 400 IU daily, they actually had a slightly higher overall mortality rate compared to those who didn't supplement.
Wait, really? Higher mortality with a small supplement if
Yeah.
you weren't deficient.
That's what this particular study suggested. It really makes you think, doesn't it? It pushes us to question not just the safety of high doses, but maybe the necessity of supplementing at all if your levels are already fine. Something to consider.